So today we're going to be taking a look at some of the Munchkin games. They were put out by Steve Jackson Games, and I chose two here today that arrived fairly recently. One is based on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the other is based on Ducktales, so we're going with a little bit of 80s nostalgia here. And for those of you who aren't familiar with the Munchkin games, the premise is pretty simple. They're essentially dungeon exploring games where you collect loot and try to level up. You can team up with those you're playing with, or you can compete against them, and you can have makeshift alliances. A pretty straightforward game, very simple in its philosophy, but can be a little confusing for new players coming in. So as you can see, the packages here on the Ninja Turtles has original art by Kevin Eastman that was done specifically for this game. This one of the two is definitely the most unique looking. You can see on the back some of the concepts with it. We'll open that up in just a sec and show you some of the different cards and art that we have. I'm particularly fond of this one, not only because I'm a Ninja Turtles fan, but just also because the art style works really good for this type of game. And frankly, the style of the game works really good for the Ninja Turtles universe as well. So that'll be one that we look at. The other one is DuckTales here for all of you 80s and early 90s kids who grew up with this show and are now enjoying it again as it gets a reboot from Disney. This one does not have original art like the Ninja Turtle one. It has captures or scenes from the series itself. Still a fun game. If you're a fan of DuckTales, still definitely worth playing. You have a lot of enemies to choose from here and some really cool bonuses that go with it as well. And so this is a fun one as well. So without further ado, we'll open it up. As we are opening that up, I will let you know that for those of you who are interested in playing these games but might be a little intimidated, Hogwash Gaming on YouTube has an excellent tutorial that helped me understand these things, because I will freely admit, when I first got the games, I had no idea what I was doing. For as simple as the premise is on these games, quite frankly, the instructions are very lacking. So you're kind of just thrown into the gaming world, and you really don't know where to start. Once you kind of look at that tutorial and play with it a little bit, even do kind of a mock run through, it makes much sense, and it's very easy to remember. It's not a complicated game. It's not an in-depth board game. So that, that works the other way as well. If you're looking for something that is more of an RPG or way more in-depth and involved, you have to probably look elsewhere. That's not going to be this game. And so just kind of keep that in mind when you're playing it. So with this, let's take a look at the DuckTales one first. Obviously, you have your instructions. They come with, it gives you an idea of the basics of the game. I use them as reference from time to time because occasionally you do encounter situations that you may need to reference the rules. That's not too often, but it gives you a basic layout of what everything is. As I said, if I can make a recommendation, I would say go to the Hogwash Gaming tutorial, mainly because I think that's going to help you more than just reading through the instructions. With that, it does not come with the Ziploc bags. I did that just to kind of keep everything neat and organized. You can tell you have 3 compartments here that you can break things down into, which is very nice. Little gold coin inset in there. But having the bags does help keep things organized. It's where I keep the die. And what you'll see what I did here, this game came with, because it's up to 6 players, so it came with 6 little gold tokens that could be used. I switched those out because it's Scrooge McDuck and he has his #1 dime. I just put some dimes in there to kind of do it, and I'll explain what happened to the tokens that came with it in a sec. Gold die, as you can see. And then you have the character cards here. So the character cards are really neat. It kind of gives you an overview of what your character can do. So in this case, Launchpad can equip 1 additional vehicle. For each vehicle he has equipped, he gets an additional +1 to run away, things of that nature. I'm not going to go through everyone's character bonus, but you can see, each one has a little portrait A little bit about their character. The back is, nothing too fancy. It's basically the cover art that's on there. The art is your typical promotional art. Nothing too, too crazy, too detailed. But, fun, especially if you're a fan of either the TV series or someone who is into the comics, who eventually got into the TV series, the works of Carl Barks and other artists as well. So there's that there, and then each set has a set of cards. Once again, I put them in Ziploc bags just to keep them better organized. So these cards are, cards that you would draw as part of your actions. So when you get them, sometimes you get a curse like that. Thieves rob you, discard all the treasure cards from your hand, things of that nature. You'll see things like this, where it's a class card that gives your character certain bonus and perks. You have allies, so you have Donald Duck, who might serve as an ally. He gives you a +3 bonus when fighting enemies. And then you have enemies, such as Burger Beagle. He's a -3 if there are munchies on the table, which is a card that would be on the table. If you lose, there's bad stuff, so he shoves you out of the way to get to the grub. You lose a level. So each enemy has different strengths and weaknesses. You'll see it covers a wide variety of characters from the show. So you have characters who had brief appearances, all the way up to someone like, say, Flintheart Glumgold, who was a major villain in the series as well. As you can see from the art, there's scenes from the TV series. So it's little captures. This is one from, I believe, I think it was the Bubba the Duck episode where Flintheart tries to cheat Scrooge out of an island that he was looking to buy. Things of that nature. So all of your scenes here are from the TV series. It's, again, pretty straightforward, pretty neat to see. And then you have treasure cards, which will open up right here. As you can see, you might have a feather duster, a time teaser. If you're familiar with the show, magic lamp. A lot of these will make sense to you. A junior woodchuck, explorer badge, that's easy enough to say. Fireworks, things of that nature, a 4-leaf clover. So if you're a fan of the series, a lot of these will make sense. You'll know the episodes that they're referencing. It's fun. There's not really a deeper meaning to it. It's not that you go on, again, specific missions that tie into an episode, but they will make sense if you are familiar with the TV series. So that's a fun little game as well. But the one I really enjoy with this is the Ninja Turtles one. If there is one drawback, and I don't know why they did this from a design standpoint, they have this divided into 4s. As you can see, it really would have been helpful if you just had the 3-compartment layout similar to the Ducktales one, so you could just put that flat in there. As of right now, you have to kind of lay them on top or at an angle. That's a small gripe that I have, but doesn't take away from the game in any way, shape, or form. This one did not come with tokens, so I actually repurposed the Ducktales tokens, the little gold tokens there, to to work with this game, and then I put the dimes in the Ducktales one just because it made sense in my head. The die, as you'll be able to see here, is green. There's a lot of slime sewer references there, so it's not the glittering gold of Ducktales. Fun little die that goes. And where this set I think particularly stands out is the fact that you have original art in there by Kevin Eastman, designed specifically for this game. And if you're a fan of not only Ninja Turtles but the art style of Eastman and Laird, and that the original Mirage comic books, these will definitely be up your alley, because they definitely draw from some of those styles, more of the comic book style versus the cartoons. The back, just a little more colorful than the DuckTales layout. There's some neat design there. Again, that is a throwback to the comics. But similar thing here. You have team up bonuses for April. You have a race, which is human for her as opposed to mutant. that is a factor in the game, just because there is certain equipment that you can equip as a human that you can as a mutant, and vice versa. So you have April, you have Leonardo. He gets a team-up bonus. His race is mutant. Again, all original art. The back is consistent on all of these. So you have April, Leonardo, Donatello, Casey Jones, and that one is upside down. That is Raphael. Now he gets a loner bonus. Again, for those of you familiar with the characters, that's not a surprise at all. But it kind of shows you that you have different diversity in the characters, and then you have Michelangelo as well. Absolutely love the art on these. I think it's just incredibly well done. Love what they were doing with that. We have our, similar to DuckTales, you have your loot rewards, and then you have your action cards. So with the Ninja Turtles, you have things that you equip that give you bonuses. So you have equipment that you put on, which is pretty neat. You have allies, so there's Splinter, certain weapons. You have like a staff, katana, robes, things of that nature. Again, each one of these has art that is very reminiscent of the of the comics that you've seen over the years. It's from a design standpoint, it's just, I absolutely love the style. I love the way these things look. Just it gives it a very unique look and style to it. So if you're a fan of the Ninja Turtles, especially the comics, you'll absolutely love those. Then you have the rewards, again, some enemies and stuff like that you have as well. For those of you who are familiar with the comics or the series in general, you'll have an idea of what you're looking at. So there's Shredder. Each one of them has different levels, which factor in. Again, there are tutorials on how to play this, so I'm not going to go into that. But you can see there's some different bad stuff. The treasure you get is pizza. So you draw 5 treasures that are pizza from the stack when you win. You have stances as well, which is really neat, because certain stances do better against certain enemies. So you might have an aggressive stance, you might have a defensive stance, and each of those has certain pros and cons to them when you are playing. So, so that's really neat too. You have katas that you can add on. Those are bonuses, but the way the system works in this one, you can add katas up based on your level sometimes, but you can't have a kata that is higher than your level. You have traps like Bad Pizza. Everything about this series is just incredibly well done with this one. And so this one is, a particular favorite in our family. We definitely play this one more than the DuckTales one. So, if we're doing a quick product comparison, both are very good. They're a lot of fun. I think the format works much better for the Turtles than it does DuckTales, even though they both work well. If I had to pick one, I would easily pick the Turtle one there. As you saw, some of the cool aspects, you have artwork that's originally designed for this game. The box art, everything is really neat, and it's a fun game to play with your family. We play this with young kids in our household. We have a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old, and it's easy enough for them to understand. But it's not so simple and straightforward that if we were having friends over, adult friends over, that we couldn't play this. Game times can vary depending on the number of people you have. This is a game designed for 3 to 6 players. So when you have 3 players, the game's going to go a little faster. 6 players, the game will go a little longer. And in many cases, you have what really makes it fun. The more players you have alliances, you have, you might turn on an ally, you might team up, you might block the person you're playing with. So the people you're playing with can be, your greatest friends in this game, or they can be your enemies and help you lose the game as well. And so, so that's a lot of fun. The versions that you see here are basic versions. DuckTales, it's just a straightforward, basic set. And those sets run typically, I'd say $17 to $25, give or take, if you were to go into a store. Keep your eye out for sales. I know with Barnes & Noble last Christmas, 2019, they did like a buy one, get one half off. or even a buy one get one free. And in that case, they become exceptional values because you're getting, you know, 2 of them for, you know, what amounts to $10 to $15 each. With the Ninja Turtles, there are other alternate versions available out there that you can look at. Probably the most popular is Deluxe Edition. I believe those are going for about $24 online right now. And for $24, you get, you know, a few extra things. You get a few additional characters. You get some you know, character standees. So rather than having the tokens, your character would you know, be on a little standee, similar to, if any of you are familiar with, you know, old school 80s games like Candyland. Sometimes your character would be in a little standee and you would move them around the board. So something very similar to that. You know, neat little touches. If you're a fan of Ninja Turtles, certainly something to consider. It is obviously a little more expensive, but, you know, it does come with a few additional items. So, you know, probably finally, you know, if you're on the fence about getting this, I would recommend getting them. They're fun games. They're not overly complicated. If you are looking for a complicated, multi-hour game, this is not going to fit that bill. If you're looking for something you can kind of just roll out with on a Sunday evening or on a rainy day, you know, it's a very solid game that, you know, has a wide audience that can play it. I would say, whenever possible, look for these on sale. See if you can find a deal where you know, you get one half off when you know, 2 for 1, or, you know, buy 2 and, you know, get one half off, something along those lines. I think it's an excellent value. I would recommend both sets. I would say don't get frustrated if you get them when you're kind of just dropped off in the middle of nowhere and you don't know where to start. Again, check out some of the tutorials that are available online, and you know, hit me up if you have any questions. But these are Munchkins games featuring Ninja Turtles and Ducktales. They are available at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, most major retailers, and anything online. So take a look, see if you like them, and if you try it out, let me know. Thanks, guys.